Now it's Ohio State and Texas' turn tonight.
Viewer step, hit by Sawyer, ball's loose. Sawyer comes up with it to the end zone. Touchdown!
It's Ohio State, champions of college football.
It wasn't always easy being the backup, but I think it's paid off.
Pulling it back in is Mandy. Arch breaks a tackle. Dare I say it? Say goodnight to it. Arch to the house.
When you look at a goal sheet, what do you hope it looks like a year from now?
I hope we're national champions.
We can't wait to see the start of the Arch Manning era as number 1 Texas will be heading to Columbus to take on the reigning national champions, number 3 Ohio State, week 1 next Saturday. The Longhorns are listed as 2.5-point underdogs. This is the first time a number 1 ranked team is an underdog in week 1. On that note, we bring in the mouth of the South, Paul Finebaum. And Paul, top of the morning to you. Thank you for being with us. As always, I want to start with you here. Does Vegas have it wrong? Should Arch and Texas be favored over Ohio State? Where are you on this?
They definitely have it wrong, Molly. And I understand what's going on here. These two teams met in January in the Cotton Bowl, and Texas fell in that game. So, but the teams are different. Quarterback's different at Texas. The quarterback's different at Ohio State. And I don't think Ohio State is what we saw last year winning the national championship. They're good, but I don't think they're elite. Now, Vegas tends to go with home field and with what we know, and what we know is Ohio State won the championship last year. But I think Vegas is completely wrong. I really don't even think this game is going to be close. I'm not trying to screw up viewership for it. It's a big event, one of the biggest games we have seen. But I think Texas's roster is better, and I think Ohio State is going to be hungover from last year with a new quarterback, by the way, 2 new coordinators as well. Try putting that in the potion and making it work well. It's usually a disaster.
Not even close. Canty, do you believe Vegas got it right?
Yeah, I think Vegas got it right. If it was on a neutral field, it'd likely be a pick'em. But here's the thing. This game is at the Shoe, and they haven't lost a season opener at home under Ryan Day since he's been the head coach there. And, oh, by the way, you're talking about Ohio State having arguably the 2 best players in college football, regardless of position, in Jeremiah Smith and the safety Caleb Downs. I think this is a football team that understands the blueprint for how to win a championship. Being able to have that experience matters. Texas believes they can do it, but the guys that are in that Ohio State locker room have proof of concept, and I think that's what gives them an edge in what should be a closely contested ball game.
Paul, to that you say what?
Yeah, I say I don't know what proof of concept means, Chris. It's a big word. I'll look it up as soon as we're off the air here.
That's that SEC education,
You
baby.
definitely do.
That SEC education.
Oh, my goodness.
But I do want to say this: those two great players were in the game last year in Dallas, and I remember with an inferior quarterback, Quinn Ewers, Texas was on the goal line, first down, about to go in and tied the game up. So I listen. Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs are top of the line, but they are not the only thing that is in this game. Texas's roster is better A to Z, 1 to 85, and I just for all the greatness of Ohio State, and it is great, and Ryan Day has done a very nice job inheriting a great car from Urban Meyer. I still don't think that means very much in a game like this. And everyone wants to talk about Arch Manning. What does it mean? What does he do? But to me, Arch Manning is ready for this moment.
All right, let me pivot here quickly, guys. Obviously, we're talking about the number 1 and 3 team in the country. I want to look at number 2 in the country, and that would be Penn State. So this marks the 3rd straight season a Big Ten team has been ranked as the number 2, with the last 2 teams winning the national championship, of course, as we mentioned, in Ohio State, in Michigan. Paul, are you buying that Penn State can win the title?
I'm not, and I'm well aware, Molly. We all read in the offseason, and we talk to people. And Penn State has an amazing roster with the quarterback coming back, and they did lose a coordinator, but they picked up one. To me, it still has James Franklin, and this sounds like low-hanging fruit, but he is still the coach, and I've seen him in too many situations, like last year with a lead against Ohio State, like last year with a lead against Notre Dame. I think 10 points in both cases, and they ended up being the loser. And it's just one of the, Chris, it's just one of these, I have to see it to believe it moments. He is top of the line coach. He's a top 10 coach, but until he wins what I consider to be the ultimate game, I can't buy it. And I just would have to bet here in late August that James Franklin will find some way to screw this season up, probably even in the national championship game.
Don't hold back, Paul. All right, Paul's keeping receipts on First Take this morning and not holding back. So he's in mid-season form, just like we like him, rearing and ready to go.
Yeah, I like spicy
Canty?
Paul Finebaum. He's taking shots at James Franklin. Here's what I will say.
Penn State number 2, winning
Penn State has the path of least resistance when we start talking about title contenders. They've got 3 ranked opponents, and 2 of those games are at home, those being Oregon and Indiana. Only Ohio State on the road. They are returning 76% of their offensive production from a year ago, and they had more rushing yards than any other Power 4 program in college football. Nicholas Singleton is a beast. Nobody really talks about him as a difference maker, as a running back, and also as a receiver out of the backfield. The biggest issue that I have with their offense is that they really didn't push the ball down the field in the regular season. So I'm curious to know whether or not what we saw in the college football playoff is a prelude of things to come from Drew Aller. Did that confidence that we saw from him in postseason play, will that translate into 2025? That's the thing I'm curious about. If it does, then I absolutely take Penn State as a title contender.
It's hard to put a guy on the hot seat when he's starting the season, in many people's eyes, as the number 1 or 2 teams in the country. But I think in perception, it is pretty hot. And I'm sure there'll be some local yokel publication in Penn State saying Finebaum says James Franklin on the hot seat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you're supposed to win, and you finally have what is the best roster you've ever had, you better win. And I don't think he will. And one thing that really bugs me about this Penn State season is their non-conference games. Chris, you mentioned the ranked opponents. That's fantastic. But they literally play 3 high school teams in the preseason, and that doesn't get you ready. Well, at least Ryan Day is playing a big-time opponent. Other schools are doing that. James Franklin is playing nobody. Take a look at that non-conference schedule, and it is beyond embarrassing. But again, remember one more thing. They're in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten loves, other than Ohio State and maybe Oregon occasionally, these pathetic schedules. I mean, Indiana's coach is mouthing off the other day, and they just added, I think, Slippery Rock and Kennesaw State and a couple of schools like that down the road, as opposed to playing meaningful games where this committee at the end of the year, should you slip up once or twice, they can legitimately measure who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, I love a couple of high school teams on the schedule.
Yeah, just a little preseason, right?
It's always a good time.
Exactly.
Get things cooking.
I don't know how Paul has got James Franklin on a hotter seat than your boy Billy Napier down in Florida, though. I mean, they've had coaches get fired for less. Ron Zook, Jim McElwain, and Dan Mullen got fired for less.
I got to go real quick, but credence to what Canty's saying here?
Canty is on a heater right now. I'm all in on that.
You want this, you got that.